When you think about global conflict, what comes to mind? Probably tanks, battleships, things you can see, right? But what if the most important battles today are being fought in ways that are totally invisible? The whole nature of power has shifted, and that's created a completely new landscape, not just for governments, but for anyone, really, trying to build a secure business in the 21st century.
Yeah, the biggest wars right now, they're completely invisible. They're being fought in a brand new arena, this underground empire of computer networks, finance, and technology. And this isn't some science fiction movie. This is the reality of how the big players are competing, and it's happening as we speak.
So let's take a look at this underground empire in action. What we're seeing is superpowers weaponizing the very systems our entire global economy depends on. The US, for instance, uses its influence over financial networks like SWIFT. China is busy building its own digital currency to counter that. And everybody, and I mean everybody, is in a massive fight for control over semiconductors, the tiny chips that run the world. You've basically got this three-front war, and it's being fought with code, capital, and silicon.
Okay, so if you're a business caught in the middle of these giants clashing, what do? How do you possibly survive, let alone actually succeed? Well, it turns out a really fascinating strategy has come out of one of the most intense, high-stakes places on the planet.
It's called the third place philosophy. Now hold on, this isn't about aiming for a bronze medal or being third best. It's a very deliberate, very smart strategy to reduce threats by intentionally staying out of the spotlight. By refusing to paint a giant target on your back, you give yourself the room you need to operate, to grow, and to innovate safely.
Just listen to the mindset behind this quote. I know I'm the best, but I always say I'm third. That's powerful, right? It's this incredible combination of quiet confidence and strategic humility. It means you know you have world-class skills, but you're also wise enough not to get into a direct shouting match with a much bigger opponent. You're playing chess, not checkers. You're playing the long game.
So, how does this actually work? Well, it really boils down to three core ideas. First, flock of geese cooperation, which is just a great way of saying you're stronger and safer when you work as a team. Second, as we've talked about, you avoid picking direct fights. And third, you focus on building sustainable, resilient operations that can handle a shock. The crucial point here isn't about hiding, it's about building for strategic endurance.
And this is the moment it all clicks into place for us. This whole new battlefield. It's not just for countries anymore. These exact same forces, cyber attacks, financial pressure, supply chain warfare, are creating massive new risks. And yeah, some pretty interesting opportunities for every single company out there.
All right, so how do you actually prepare for all this? A really powerful place to start is just by structuring your organization to be more resilient. And for that, we can turn to a really clear, proven model called the 3 lines of defense.
Here's the breakdown. Your first line of defense is your business units, the teams on the ground doing the work who own and manage risks every single day. The second line is your risk and compliance teams. They bring in that specialized expertise and oversight. And the third line? That's your internal audit, making sure the whole system is actually working as it should. When these 3 lines are in sync, you get this incredibly powerful layered defense.
But even with the perfect structure, leaders always face this constant tension. I love this analogy. It's the battle between sewer projects and bright projects. Sewer projects are that critical, foundational work. Things like keeping an inventory of your assets or segmenting your network. They're absolutely essential, but nobody sees them. And then you have the bright projects, the flashy, high-profile initiatives like Zero Trust that get all the buzz. The real challenge for any leader is to make sure that crucial sewer work gets done, because without it, all those shiny bright projects are just built on sand.
And that brings us to the next crucial part of the playbook, the mindset shift that has to happen at the leadership level. This is about moving beyond just talking about tools and tactics.
It really all comes down to this. Most organizations, they start with the what. What new technology should we buy? But truly great leaders, they start with why. Why does our security program even exist? What is our core mission? Because once you have a rock-solid answer for why, the how, your strategy, and the what, your actions and tools, become so much more focused and effective.
So when you put all this together, it leads to a complete reimagining of the security leader's role. The Chief Information Security Officer, the CISO, is no longer just the most senior tech person in the room. Today's CISO has to wear 4 different hats all at once. They have to be
the strategist, making sure security actually helps the business meet its goals. They have to be the consultant, giving expert advice to the rest of the business on risk. They're also the governor, making sure that controls are working and adjusting them as needed. And yes, they still have to be the technologist, guiding how tools get deployed. It's this combination of roles that turns security from a siloed tech department into a real business partner.
So all this leaves us with one final and I think crucial question to think about. In this new era of invisible conflict, are you still treating your cybersecurity program like a cost center, just another expense to be managed down? Or are you starting to see it for what it truly is, a core part of your strategy, and maybe, just maybe, your greatest competitive advantage?